Hello and welcome to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Unfortunately, my previous video, I made a rookie mistake of forgetting to turn my microphone on, so I'm having to record it again. So I will be repeating the hour and a half of Blackwing Library and chatting to everyone in Defender's Heart. So let's begin and go into Blackwing Library. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. Let's moving forward.
Can't hide from me. Let us be off.
A stocky knight with a head of messy black hair stands before you. His armour is spattered with blood. He greets you with a deep, booming voice. Ah, Crusaders, excellent. I am Captain Caleb Sazamol, and these are my men. I'm about to burn these vile backstabbers and heretics here, these pathetic imitators of the traitor Aralu, who tricked their way into the ranks of the Crusaders. The knight nods at a heap of severely beaten people and a strange elf whose appearance seems jarring for some unknown reason. Sazamol bellows threats at his prisoners, who seem to be in a state of deep shock and utter terror. A strange feeling rises up within you. It is pure instinct. You don't know what you're about to do, but you're certain that it is right. What happened to the library? Demons showed up and carried everything off. I wasn't here to see it myself. I was fighting in the square, but these filthy traitors told me everything. My fists made them quite chatty. So what, you tortured them? Do you think those methods are worthy of a crusader? Under ordinary circumstances, no. But look around. The city is burning. Now is not the time for squeamishness. Why do you want to burn them? The warrior howls like a wild animal. Look around you. The city is burning, ruins. So many innocent lives lost, and all because of abominations like these here. Cultists, heretics and spies slipping into our ranks, carrying out the orders of the brutal masters, and preparing a heinous death for us all. They want to give us over to the demons, just like Aralu did with Sarkoris. They deserve to feel the flames licking at their legs. Let's take a perception, take a closer look. Caleb is talking too loudly, all while casting sidelong looks at you. You've seen similar behavioural quirks before, in liars. Examine the Crusaders' armour and symbols on it. You notice that the emblems on the armour of the two silent Crusaders belong to the Order of the Flaming Lance, but Caleb's armour bears the sigil of the Order of Sunrise Sword. Strange then that he introduces himself as their captain. Something's not right here. Okay, let's try the trickster path. Give in to the strange instinct. Idiots, stop! Heed my command in the name of Baphomet. The words fly out of your mouth before you can even think them. Some gut instinct told you this is precisely what needs to be said in this moment, and the words hit their target. The Crusaders jump in surprise and look at each other in terror. Caleb leaps to attention and barks out, "Sorry, couldn't have known. We'll fix it right away, sir." An inexplicable feeling of rightness flows through you. You enjoy seeing the look of oafish terror on the faces of the Crusaders and his lackeys when you rebuke them for their fecklessness. Listen to your gut. Stop wasting valuable fuel. If you like burning books, go rig the Grey Garrison Library. Our enemies might try to sneak in there. Step to it. There's plenty more where that came from, sir. I'll do everything you've ordered, and just as soon as the Crusaders arrive, there'll be dead meat. I'll go make sure that we get another. No, make it another 2 barrels of alchemist fire from the Grey Garrison storeroom. Things are going to burn right up in there. And off they run. Right, before I let them loose, I'm just going to go around picking everything up. Get some nice little skills there. Oh, and here comes the Griffin. I'm sure we'll meet later. Was that a griffin? I thought they were long extinct in these parts. In the name of Iomade, what was that? Okay, we've got another one. Like those. that. And what have we got here? The great library of Canabras has been ravaged and wrecked in the most barbaric way. It seems that someone took perverse pleasure in smashing lamps and furniture and tearing pages out of books. Put those bits up.
Let's move.
Anything else? We got that. Barrel of flammable alchemical substance.
I found something.
Some monstrously large demonic blade fell upon the library, splitting the ruins in two and leaving an enormous black scar. It is possible that Discari himself was the one to destroy this building with his terrifying scythe, Rift Carver.
What's that
The
there?
bookcase is full of text describing demons and methods of fighting them. Regrettably, all this knowledge wasn't enough to save Canabras from the spawn of the Abyss. Yeah, it all seems a bit pointless now, doesn't it? How to make money during the war against demons. Become useful.
What's that?
A couple more bits. And a hidden door. We'll take that. Okay.
Well, it's done now.
This is the statue of a mage who founded the Blackwing Library. He cut the wing off a demon known as Abrupt and hung it above the entrance. Well done him. And a quarterstaff of coercion. Okay, let me just review the stuff that we've got here quickly. So that quarterstaff gives me 1 DC for all will saving throws. I think she will make the most use of that currently. Okay. Got all of that. Nothing there. Okay, and I was going to check the abilities I gained. So I've got 1 morale bonus to AC against dragons, 1 competence bonus to attacks and damages on all natural attacks, not very useful. 1 competence bonus on saving throws against swarms, well that's useful. 1 shield bonus to AC against demons. Okay, so yeah, a couple of minor improvements in certain areas there. Right, I think I can let them loose now. Praise Iomedae, we're saved. You came just in time. A blind elf stands before you. He looks extremely strange. His face wears its years heavily, which is unusual for members of his race. Thinning grey hair, a ragged beard, sightless milky eyes, pale papery skin, covered in age spots, spine curved by the passage of time. This is not how elves typically age. The youth that graces the faces of elves, even on their deathbed, has totally abandoned their decrepit specimen. This decrepit specimen. That is an elf with a beard? I guess the worst can be found even among the best. The old elf holds out his hand in your direction in the perennial gesture of the blind, greeting you with an unexpectedly strong and calm voice. Hello, I am Storyteller, and I wish to thank my rescuers. That is you, if I'm not mistaken. Who are you? The old elf frowns. I prefer people to call me Storyteller. It very accurately describes the sphere of my occupation and interests. In most of the places I have been, I am known by that name. When I was little, my mother and father used to tell me stories. But I have no one to tell me stories now. Sometimes Grandma does in my dreams, but I always forget them in the morning. Can you tell me a story? The corners of the blind elf's mouth slowly creep upward. For you, I may have a story to tell, but perhaps it is you who has a story for me. There was a griffin statue here. It suddenly came to life and flew away. Do you know anything about it? The griffin stood in the library for decades, but only today did he take flight. Why? I do not know. But I am glad his ancient slumber came to an end. The elf smiled at his thoughts. He has a long story behind him, and yet the real tale is only just beginning today. No, I will not reveal his secrets. I think your paths will cross again, so you can ask him yourself. I want to talk to you about something. The old elf responds with dignity and courtesy, but firmly. And thanks for my rescue, I, of course, will render you a service in turn, whatever it may be. However, at this moment, I wish to be somewhere safer than the present surroundings. My recent adventures have fatigued me greatly. I would be grateful if you could help me to a safe shelter of some kind. The stubborn set of the elf's mouth tells you he won't change his mind. We can't not help him. If it was up to me, Grandfather Elf, I'd throw you over my shoulder and carry you out here. This is no place for old folks. I have other things to do. I'll help you later. In that case, I'll remain here for now. Wandering the city while it's under attack by demons would be inadvisable for a blind person. Don't forget to take me with you when you're going to a safe place. So we're going to speak to these guys first, and then we'll take him to a safe place. Just got to find Claim? The young man with aristocratic features wipes the sweat from his brow and gives you a courteous bow. Allow me to introduce myself, Brother Claim, at your service. Thank you for helping us. We thought we were doomed to perish. There is death everywhere here. Sometimes I think we're all doomed, but then death has passed us by and we're all still alive. Lan looks at Ember with sorrow in his eyes. But you're an elf. You should live hundreds of years and never even worry about dying. Little elf girls shouldn't even know such words. When children are thrown into the middle of war, they learn many sad things. This is why we have to win, so that other boys and girls don't have to learn what we did. Who are you? We are Crusaders of the Order of the Flaming Lance. Our order dedicates itself to the pursuit of hidden knowledge and magical methods of fighting the demons. We are searching for our leader, Sister Miamir, the scholar. She spent the last few weeks here, working day and night on some important research. When the demons attacked the city, we rushed here to find her, but it seems she left the city shortly before the attack began. Miamir had just left the city, leaving no word of where she could be found. None. She left in a hurry, without leaving any notes or orders. Why, I have no idea. The only thing that may serve as a clue is this book, the one she was studying. My Company of Worn-Out Words, Songs of a Crusader. Miamir? This note mentions something about a stone book belonging to the Druids of Old Sarkoris. What does that mean? Stone books? The Druids of Old Sarkoris used sacred trees as books. They carved their secret knowledge on the bark. When the demons came, the Druids resorted to a dark ritual that turned the trees to stone, and the Druids themselves into undead, doomed to guard their stone library grove forever. But that happened far from here in the Stone Wilds. It is possible that's where Miamir went, or maybe she found one of those trees somewhere nearby. I don't know. The stone statue in the library suddenly turned into a living griffin. What happened? The statue was carved in Old Sarkoris long before the demonic invasion. Everyone marvelled at the beauty of its fine stonework. Each feather was practically lifelike. They would say the griffin looked like it was about to spread its wings and take flight. But no one thought it would actually happen, of course. Believe me, I'm just as surprised as you are. Having said that, I do have an inkling of an idea. The knight rubs his chin thoughtfully. There was a legend in Sarkoris that mentioned an ancient chieftain who could turn into a beast and who vanquished countless enemies, but one day he just vanished. It claimed he was sleeping somewhere, but would wake up one day to save Sarkoris from a terrible fate. Everybody thought it was just a tall tale. Obviously no shape-shifting chieftain showed up to stop the demonic horde. Perhaps the statue was the very same person slumbering in stone, waking up only now that a demon lord has come real close. He shrugs. Don't take my word for it, it's just a guess. I hope we get a chance to take a closer look at this griffin. How did you end up in this trap? The traitor met us at the door. He seemed a faithful and passionate crusader, and we didn't suspect a thing until they attacked us from behind and knocked us out. We didn't expect such trickery. Most of our other order brethren are dead, and we were desperate to believe that this man in armour was a fellow crusader, a comrade. While we were unconscious, they removed our armour and tossed us in on the pyre of books. What macabre blasphemy! Who is this elf with you? Is he a crusader as well? No, he calls himself the Storyteller, and he only recently arrived in Canabras. We often saw him in the library. He was interested in the writings about early Sarkoris and the era before that. It seems the traitor caught him in the library and decided to kill him along with the rest of us. The young man's voice dropped to a polite murmur. Have you noticed that the Storyteller is a little odd? Even for Canabras, where you can meet the strangest people from the farthest corners of the globe among the Crusaders. Have you ever seen such a decrepit elf before? Not just old, but ancient, with a grey beard like that. Elves don't tend to grow beards, I thought, and they don't have wrinkles. An elf with wrinkles and a beard? A detestable absurdity. Hold on, there. A beard isn't the worst thing a person can have growing on their face. You should see some of the people back in my village. The worst thing that's growing on your face is your mouth. Please try to open it a little less often. Lan clenches his teeth and turns away with a dismissive wave of his hand. Go to the Defender's Heart. Those who are ready to fight back are gathering there. The city still fights? Why, that's an incredible news. We will go to our sanctuary guarded by our Order brothers and sisters. We will bring them to the Defender's Heart. So we've added another one to our cause. And we will now talk to the Storyteller. I'm taking you to the Defender's Heart. Please accept my sincere thanks once again, and if I may, please don't rush. I will struggle to keep up with your young legs. So we're going to head to the Defender's Heart now. Okay, and now it's time to chat to everybody at the Defender's Heart. We will start this way. Actually, we will start here. And I will level up these and add and assign any armor or weapons that I have that might be appropriate. So I'm going to give Nenio intelligence. I'm going to up that, and that. Her spells. I'm going to go for blur. I really struggle with the choice for the second one because I don't want conjuration because I've got that on another character. So I'm going to try hideous laughter. I think I'm not going to do the raise because that's on Ember and I don't want to duplicate. She doesn't have enchantment boost, so is that just a waste? Will negates. It's affected by spell resistance. All right, I'm going to go with it. See what happens. Okay, and then we will do Waljiff as well. Going to bump his dexterity up. These. And I'm going to give him animal aspect because I want things that are going to improve him. And mirror image, I think, or keep him alive. Okay. Right, so that's those. Now, if I check here, I think I have a sword that he might be able to use. Don't think any of those are useful for anyone else. Got nothing here that's useful for any of them. And that's it. So, oh, hold on. I do have a couple of spells. Do I need to do anything with any of those? I think it would make sense. I know he's already got that. Okay. We could give him this. Because he's got that extra boost on abilities that he can cast. I think it's useful, even if I've not got them there yet, to have them so I can use them in the future. Okay, I think that's everything I can do for now. Guarding these people. So now I'm going to do a bit of selling. I see you're not one for talking. He gives you a long, mournful look and says nothing. Right, okay. So let's go through and get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to keep that one just because it's just in case. Bulk selling. I want to go the other way, sorry. Get rid of that one. That one, that one, that one. That one. Nope, I want that one back, sorry. Serious ones I want to keep. Just in case. I'll get rid of the moderate ones, that's right. I have a couple of books I can get rid of because I've already learnt from them. And I've got all of these books to get rid of and wine. Right, now, is there anything that I wanted from here? Yeah, I don't have enough to hit that, and I'm not sure it's worth it. Nothing there. Nothing here that I'm desperate for at the moment. I will take a few more of these. And there's nothing there. So we'll do a deal, and that gives us just over 10,000. Okay, now we will go round, and we got to talk to Wooljiff.
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
So you did betray the thieflings.
Oh, that cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Remind me, why is this item so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
You've been searched by guards. How did you manage to hide this amulet? Don't want to know.
Thieves have their ways.
Why didn't you give the amulet to Kerisme right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the thieflings. And they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it. She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up, but she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders. I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Risking everything for some shiny trinket.
This isn't just some shiny trinket. First, maybe some rich person's just dying to buy it. We need to put out some feelers and see if anyone's in the market. Second, maybe it'll come in handy. And besides, I spent so many years looking at it. I imagine things like, what if my grandfather left something else and my grandma spent that too? Maybe I could have had my own barony already if things had turned out differently. Or got some decent education in the capital. They're all just dreams, but the moon is right here. You've got to hold on to what's yours, Chief.
You deceived the people who considered you a friend. That's not the way to treat your friends.
Family, friends. You know, some people don't believe in gods, so gods don't exist for them. And I don't believe in family. All that heartwarming talk about sticking together. Ugh. People like to say those things, but when push comes to shove, Sister Charisme used to say that us tieflings were one family, and you see how that turned out. And did you hear that excuse for an apology? I did the right thing, and I was right to want to run when I just planned on stealing the Moon of the Abyss. Everything turned out as it should. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief, I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family, and well, I mean, we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables. So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
Okay. Woljif is standing repeatedly flipping a coin into the air and catching it. He looks bored, but the tip of his tail is twitching nervously. Noticing you, he perks up. Hey, Chief, how about letting me go? Why would you need a thief in your party? What if I rob you in your sleep? I mean, I'm not going to, for now, but what if I get a rush of inspiration? I want to know more about you. How much is more? Are your family tieflings too? My family? It's an interesting story, actually, but I don't tell it to just anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume. They said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realized right away that I was heaven sent. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with the coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents, but it's not easy. Traveling takes money. So if you have a few coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. I'll give you my word. That doesn't sound very believable. Seriously, usually everyone just believes everything I say. People love stories like that, you know. A cute baby, a basket, a blanket. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more just because the sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. Woljif laughs bitterly. If I was a real prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I'd have already gone to take what was rightfully mine, and then I'd come back with an army, so I could watch the guards and merchants who pushed me around all my life bow and scrape before me. But that's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is human, both my father and my mother. They used to live in a village nearby. I forget the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her, pinned her to the wall and started asking questions, like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her mother, my grandma, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this, Daddy Dearest got drunk, trashed the house, and then took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabris and left me with my grandma. She said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life. Now you handle him." Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket, though. That part was true. But my grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think after all that my grandmother saw the light, felt rightly ashamed, and kissed my horns? I wish. Woljif grins nastily, his yellow eyes flashing. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. Normal kids get bedtime stories, see? But the only tales I got told were how my dad was worthless, my ma was a slut, and I was the demon spawn that no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. So we've done the real story, so I don't need to do that again. How did you become a tiefling? I already was a tiefling. Life made me a thief. I've been in the business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, "If you don't work, you don't eat," and she gave me gave me as an apprentice to Yugger, a tiefling neighbour of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off somebody's belt, how to cut open bags undetected, and even do some magic. I used to climb through the basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. And when I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too, but when I as much hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I nodded, and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district, and told them that Yugger was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. Then the leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I didn't steal for him, never had much, so I had to rat them out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option, to join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first, no one took them seriously, calling them thieflings and all that. But I felt right away that they had power behind them, and they had some money. I'm always on the winner's side, Chief. That's why I joined the thieflings. And right on time, some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. The ones who survived are in the family, now too. Tell me about the thieflings. All right, I won't tell you everything, mind. I can tell you a little. The thieflings are Mendavian thieves. Their gang was started in Mendev's capital by someone or other, and soon after they spread all over Galarian. They're also called the family. You know why? Because us tieflings are easy to spot. Wherever we go, guards always hassle us, asking, "Are you lost or something, Hornhead?" We usually say we're visiting family. And if they say, "Oh yeah, who?" you give them the name of the local thiefling, who confirms everything even if he's never seen you before in his life. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. There are rules, who does what, who gets what cut. I won't say it's a lot, but they make it worth your while. They'll even heal you if you take an arrow. But the biggest no-no is this: you don't steal from the family. If you don't contribute to the shared pot, you'll get the cold shoulder. You won't be treated like family no more. And then everyone will hear you went to visit some relatives who have a farm someplace. My best guess? The farm is some underground well beneath Canabris, where they breed grave worms. If Sister Karesmi, our boss, looks the other way more often, I'd really be able to spread my wings. Stealing from someone you call a sister? That's low. Birds fly low before a storm. I'm just surviving as best I can. Walter fixes you with a look. Imagine the situation, Chief. You're 7 years old, you come home and your own grandma, your family, is lying there drunk, and there's no food because she got wasted in the morning and didn't cook anything. And you know that she has a stash under the 3rd floorboard. You take this money so she don't starve to death. And then when she wakes up, she beats you because you shouldn't have taken it. You should have stolen some food. You're a waste of space. That's something you can never understand, Chief. You only care about moral choices. You always know what's right and what's wrong. Brother, sister, grandma, mother, in real life, they're just words. What do you think of Canabris? It used to be such a hole. Then the Crusaders and refugees came here and things started looking up. Although it depends who you ask, I suppose. Which is better steer clear of here because Armaday's followers are ferocious, especially Holun Shapuk, the local inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a serving girl in a tavern told me that her second cousin's son from the 3rd wife is a paladin, and he said that Holun takes an unsheathed sword with him even to the privy, and when he sleeps he puts it on the pillow next to him, and when he's in his cups he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it, "You are my one true friend. You're the only one I can rely on." Erebeth's giving us a hard time too. You as much look at some nice little bauble, and before you can think of taking it, before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you, with her nostrils flaring and her fangs glinting. Scary woman. But even she's better than Sister Karesmi, our boss here in Canabris. By our, I mean the Thiefling's boss. If you get caught by Erebeth, it's all out in the open. You go to prison or you end up as worm food. But if you step on Karesmi's toes, poof, you're gone, just like that. No one ever sees you again. All you hear is, he went to the family farm, even though he's never had a family or a farm. You have demon blood in you. Do you feel drawn to the abyss? Wardia's tail whips back and forth nervously, raising clouds of dust. Why, are you an inquisitor or something? What's it to you? If I wronged you somehow, just come out and say it. Don't ask me trick questions. I know how it happens. I used to know a fella. He was married to the sister of a guard. Some shady types got him drunk one night and started asking him suspicious questions about the gods, about the Queen. So he wakes up hungover with a headache. Someone's mumbling something. It smells like smoke, and his feet are kind of hot. He looks down, and there's a fire under him, and the prelate is reading out his sentence. Your shadow looks strange. What kind of magic is that? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. A trick without any deception. Waldriff snaps his fingers and blue flame engulfs him. The shadow that was previously lying calmly at his feet grows floating in the air behind him. It is the shadow of a huge horned winged demon with claws. Ta-da! It doesn't do anything, it just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to make shadow puppets. You put your fingers together in front of a light, and it makes the shadow of a deer or a dog or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard, I wanted to make the best shadow. And I did. It just happened. Waldriff chuckles sadly. Funny enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. A tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me, just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again after the first time, but I don't care. If stone starts flying again, I'll just run. I'm used to it by now. Looks formidable. I like it. Waldriff chuckles pleased. What about the blue fire? That's my favourite part, and it doesn't burn at all. If I had a coin for every time I caught a beating from my little show here, I'd already be proposing to Galfrey. But still, I don't want to give up something so beautiful. Tell me about your shadow again. No, we don't need to do that. Enough. I want to ask about something else. Are you really staying in the party, or are you just waiting for a chance to run off? Waldriff gives you a hurt look. As if I could. There are demons and dangers around every corner. The tiefling stops short. Don't you worry, Chief. I'll work off my debt honestly. I won't stab you in the back or go on the run with your money. And if you buy my wares, I won't have to leave at all. I have to go. Let's talk later. Whatever, you're free to do as you please. Right, he doesn't seem very trustworthy or reliable, does he? Okay, let's talk to Fawn next. The elf's pale, beautiful face bears an expression of melancholy detachment. How may I help? I think Kaylessa might be a drow. A drow? Unlikely. It's more plausible that a dark service has left her a brand similar to one that twisted the entire cursed drow race. A coincidence, I would think. I met Kaylessa. Under what circumstances? I hope you seized the opportunity to kill her. Are you certain of your allegations? Fawn knows his head and says in a hollow voice, I am. Her misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, she would stoop to the boldest and most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust, hers or mine? I let her go. After giving you a saddened look, Fawn stares off into the distance. Your decision is regrettable. I'm afraid that in doing so you've condemned her, many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls upon my shoulders. I have to go. Good fortune to you. Looks like I may have made a mistake in letting her go. Right, let's come round here next. And we've got Ember. The elf in front of you is young, still an adolescent by the standards of their long-lived folk. A childish, carefree smile plays on her face, and her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. Terrible scars cover her body, and a few of her fingers are missing. A crow sits on her shoulder, observing you with its clever black eyes. Tell me about yourself. Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the River City, and now walk with you. That's my story. Why do they call you Ember? I've had many names. When I was little, Mum and Dad called me Dove or Cricket or Kitten. Dad called me his ray of sunshine, and when my mum was cross, she called me by a long name, a grown-up one. I can't remember it, no matter how hard I try. Then when I come to live in the River City, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember or Torch or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Birdbrain because I have a crow. They called me Lucky Seven because of my fingers. She raised her hands. The middle finger on her right hand and two smaller fingers on her left are missing. Then sometimes called me Grilled Meat and said I was stupid. But I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right. I really am silly. They didn't mean to hurt me. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're grey and cold like stones, but they're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is. Where are you from? Far away from the flower country, the girl gestures vaguely off into the distance. It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls, and everyone is like me, with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no hornheads. We lived there together, me, Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all good people should go on the crusade and fight the demons, and Mum said he was silly because it was so far away and none of our business, and that he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me, he took me along. He said I was born the same year that the hole in the demon world opened. He said it was a sign that I would be one of the heroes who close it. Of course I'm not a hero, but I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can. Where did you get your scars? It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said that all the good people were going to the World Room to heal it. He said that the Crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at the River City, the Crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad, and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one good night realised it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other Crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others wanted to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing and my skin is funny. I lived in the River City ever since. I never had my own house, but I had many friends. And then the demons came and I met you, and you know what happened after that. Is it really so easy for you to forgive them? I'm not sure I could be so merciful. No one can say how much good or evil they have in them. No one can see into their own soul. Ember smiles and tilts her head. Her inquisitive look wanders over your face as if she's trying to look into your soul. No one knows until it's time to check. Do you worship any deity? The girl shakes her head with an unwavering smile. Dad taught me to pray to Iomade. He said she was a good, kind goddess, and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the fire with a prayer to her, and she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight, alone, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything, and they're scared of everything, so they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves, and the gods listen to the praise, and they become smug and arrogant and begin to believe they're better than us. But they're not better, they're silly sinners just like the rest of us. Sometimes I pray to the gods, different ones, the good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me, but if they do, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too. How did you survive on the streets? The elf shrugs. There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they often give me coins or bread, or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless, and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, where I could find discarded things. When the demons destroyed the River City, I looked for my friends, but I found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in, and the knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods, so self-important. They're saving the world after all. What do they care about the homeless? She's smiling. Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Where do your magical powers come from? These tricks? I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma, and before that his father's. I've never seen her myself, but she was very clever and kind. When I lived on the street, sometimes she left food for me or a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep. But if I open my eyes, there's no one near. She also sent me soot. She scratches the crow's beak, and the bird grumbles happily in response. She tells Soot how to do different tricks, and Soot teaches me. It appears that Ember doesn't know who exactly gives her these powers, but you can guess from the words that her patron is Andaletta, a powerful Archon, one of the Imperial Lords, also known as Grandmother Crow. Thank you for your answers. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so helpful when you're surrounded by such horror? Hope? She tilts her head and continues with a smile. No, hope is a lie. What should we hope for? The world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help, or they don't want to, or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but still they quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope, only us. We'll have to win without hope. It will be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win, because we have to. The elf smiles broadly and nods to herself. I have to go. So go. The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave. Okay, that's caught her story up. Now the storyteller. The blind elf looks better than he did in the last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some colour. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my saviour? I recognise your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. You hand you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes in it, the storyteller ring. Irabeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Canabras that the local wardstone had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Canabras did I sense a flaw. A spot of corruption inside, a vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you, and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I'm old even for an elf. I've seen many things and have been to many places. Not so long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the stolen lands, led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of others' squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I have a few friends in Ozian who vouch for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Canabras. Do you wield some special magic power? Some instinct? The storyteller chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it's more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world, gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I'm afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created, and it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear, even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Armade herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not their last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Baylor Koramzadar. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Descari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Canabras. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight through the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along the whole perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next one began. I have heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Canabras, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Terendelev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Terendelev perished and search there for something. I'm sorry, I can't be more specific. but intuition and a strange sense of rightness tells me to point you there. Present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Terendilef perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and says softly, "Even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions and shreds of their memories. Maybe it'll help us better understand what we are dealing with." Storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger, my many legs bringing me into their lair, to my mother's feasting hall. A swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at it with all my eyes at once. On top is her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother, greet me with a placid speech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness. A birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark, buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters the bone spurs of my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste, his voice becoming normal again. Appalling! Stories like these are most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tightly it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with your knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, the terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What? What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you to cleanse the wardstone, or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in. It is hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I'm not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen? I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes, great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. Did you? See what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't understand yet. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future has never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you, and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something. But what? Questions without answers. I swear, this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife that gives you the power of divination. The knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be, a long time ago, when the god Aradin guarded Galarian, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, at one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not been made, and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago, I would have agreed with you, but the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. The storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them, and I'll tell you what I can see. The old elf carefully takes Yaniel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword, and it used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The storyteller's hand runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Terendelev, protector of Canabras, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller's hand touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Aha, Grandpa Elf! Watch where you're poking your fingers. It tickles. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. Shall we? Tell me about its previous owner. Present the stone knife. The storyteller touches his knife, the fingers clamped around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body, overfilled with food, is so huge that I have to look at it with all my eyes at once. On top is her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Oh, we've done all this, haven't we? Okay, we'll carry on. I don't want him telling me again. So I thank you for this storyteller. Right, let's present Radiance. What do you see in its past? The storyteller touches the blade with his finger. Sadness rings in his voice. Dresden is doomed. Demons attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the abyss could be restored to mortals. Now you are perishing, and there's nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes out into the night, through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them, but I'm standing still on the wall. I'm covering the retreat. Demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with a golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes for just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, Hey, Discari's spawn! Who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name, Yaniel. You know how many of you I have killed with this very hand. You want to curry favour with Durazand, Minago, or the Echo of the Lord? Bring them my head, if you can. Roaring and screaming, they rush towards me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The waves crash against me, spattering my armour with bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped up bodies plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I am fighting for. I am covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My arm is broken in many places, and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with Radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-sickened hand. He flies up, but falls somewhere far behind the walls, but the road being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I'm dying with you. Knight of the sword, righteous Iomedae, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand along the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yaniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. Do you see the future of this sword? Just one of the numerous possibilities. The blind elf touches the sword hilt, and metal rings in his voice. I slide out of the sheath swiftly. I proudly watch any army of warriors led by my lord. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am Radiance. Tremble, city of Dresden. My lady Yaniel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge. The storyteller returns the sword to you. It is nice to know that the sword's glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. It's a glorious sword. Show Terendilev's scale to the storyteller. Tell me about Terendelev. The storyteller takes a deep breath and smiles. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I am gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surfaces smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is as if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depths. But what is it? The scales on my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black and skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, out of the sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then suddenly I feel shame. No, these are not my thoughts. The crusaders carrying me are my friends. I am glad they did not suffer, but I hate them and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them, all because of them. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me, but the only thing I hear is, your mentor, he will come, he will help. I lose consciousness. Storyteller takes a deep breath, exiting the vision. Such hatred for Terendelev. Wasn't she on our side? Terendelev has come a long way. Her unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Terendelev you met in Canabras had gone through many trials and regained her former purity. What happened next? The storyteller puts his hand to his forehead. Sometimes the past can be vague as the future. We all know how Terendelev's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if he finds something else that used to belong to her, we will know more about her struggle. However, no matter what we learn, remember, her soul, the soul of a true dragon, overcame every obstacle, endured every torment. She was able to purify herself, for dragons are truly powerful, not only in body, but in spirit too. Show Finian. Tell me what you see. Hello, Grandpa Elf. The storyteller carefully takes Finian from your hands. Hello, Finian. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. His face contorts into a painful grimace. I'm coming to again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they chained me to the table, and the bladesmith. Everyone calls him the bladesmith. He places a device with a jar over me. I feel like I'm being fried. At first, I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed. But now, I've lost my voice. Through the pain is